Hi, everybody. So, I think it's safe to say that spring is actually really finally here. We had some warm weather days this weekend, and we are seeing buds on the trees and daffodils and flowers blooming, and it really truly feels like springtime. So, today, let's talk and sing and read about growing things. I think we should probably start by singing a song.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All we need is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds, picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own as the time is clear at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground.
So I wanted to show you what is growing at my house. We started planting some seeds about 3 weeks ago, I think, and I want to show you what they look like so far. So these are our seeds, and they're downstairs in the basement right now where it's pretty warm and dry, and they're under a special light that kind of pretends to be like the sunshine and helps them grow when they're just getting started. So all of these seeds started at the same time, and you can see that they are growing at different rates. So this is my arugula, which is my favorite salad green to eat. And this is a mix of things for salad. And here we have some spinach and some more arugula, some kale, and right here we have some little beets. And you can see that the beets have taken a little bit longer to get started. Some of them are just sprouting. Some of them haven't sprouted yet at all. So I'm noticing that the plants grow at different rates, at different speeds. And I would say that most of these little plants are about 2 inches tall, and they're just growing inch by inch by inch. Once the weather gets warmer, we will take them outside and we will plant them into the warm, fertile soil so that they can grow big and strong. But right now there's only one kind of plant planted out in the garden, and I'm going to show you what it is. Out here in the garden at this early springtime, we just have one kind of plant growing. These are going to be peas. We planted these probably 3 weeks ago as well, and even though we have had snow and cold nights and frost, these peas are still growing. They're able to stay strong even in the cold. They have these cages near them so that when they start to reach their tendrils up, they have something to hold on to, because peas are vine plants. And soon they'll grow delicious, sweet peas for us to eat in the early summer. Even though we have so many beautiful vegetable plants that are just starting to sprout in our garden, the plants that I'm probably most excited about are not plants that we're going to eat. I've been watching the leaves of these lilac bushes start from little tiny buds for weeks now, and as the leaves get bigger and bigger, we can see that the flower buds are starting to appear. In just a few weeks, these flower buds are going to open up into purple and white flowers that have one of my favorite smells in the whole world. And I'm very excited because, as you can see, these lilac bushes are big and they're going to make flowers all around us. And for that, I just can't wait. Mom, will you tell us a little bit about the plants that you have growing in the kitchen?
Well, these are plants that have grown from food that we bought from our groceries. So it all started when I went to get an onion, and I noticed that it was starting to grow a little bit out the top, and I thought I might just put it in some water, and these roots have grown. And this has been going on for a couple of weeks. I keep cutting down these greens and they just keep on growing back.
It's amazing.
So there's that one. Here's another one that we started.
The roots are getting very long.
Yes, this one's getting more roots than tops.
I
so we'll
noticed
see how that goes. And then the same thing's happening here with some green onions and another purple onion. So we use them for our salads or our quesadillas or anything we want.
Yum.
And then this is a beetroot that we enjoyed. And we just kept the little nub after we cut up the beet. And we put it into this little pan of water here. Probably a little too much. And now it's growing and we're going to have nice beet greens.
So when we put that in there, it was just the little brown round part, right?
It was just this little flat part of the beet. It wasn't the pointy part at the bottom. That's where the root goes down. But it was just the little flat part where the leaves grow out the top.
And it's sending up leaves.
It is.
Inch by inch.
Well, I have some friends who are interested in the things that I'm noticing, and they have science journals. And I have a science journal too, and I'll show you mine. And it's got a little picture of a magnifying glass and a little pot with a seedling started. And my first entry was, I wonder if you can recognize it.
I know what that is.
It was about my onion.
I noticed that you really drew all the little parts. I see the roots, and I see the shoots, and I see that purple onion. What kinds of things would someone put in their science journal?
The next thing I might put in my science journal are some little shells, because I saw a shell of a robin's egg on the ground. So I might draw a picture just showing the grass and some little blue pieces of shells. That's a sciencey thing I noticed.
So it's all things that you're noticing. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks, Mom.
I'm glad you stopped in.
So I want to share a story with you as I'm thinking about the growing season and planting things and planting seeds. I want to share a story with you about what a difference planting seeds can make. And this is a true story. This story is called Wangari's Trees of Peace, and it's a true story from Kenya, which is a country in Africa. And this book, this version of the story, has been written down and illustrated by Jeanette Winter. Wangari lives under an umbrella of trees in the shadow of Mount Kenya in Africa. She watches the birds in the forest where she and her mother go to gather firewood for cooking. And she helps harvest the sweet potatoes, sugar cane, and maize from the rich soil. Rich soil is another word for fertile soil, like in the song that we sang, Inch by Inch. Rich and fertile both mean that the soil is really good for growing plants. Wangari shines in school, and when she grows tall like the trees in the forest, she wins a scholarship to study in America. 6 years later, her studies over, Wangari returns to her Kenya home and sees a change. What has happened, she wonders. Where are the trees? Wangari sees women bent from hauling firewood miles and miles from home. She sees barren land where no crops grow. Where are the birds? Thousands of trees have been cut down to make room for buildings, but no one planted new trees to take their place. Will all of Kenya become a desert, she wonders, as her tears fall? Imagine what you know about a desert. A desert is a very dry place, and in some places in the world, there's supposed to be a desert, But Wangari's home wasn't a desert to begin with. It had a canopy of trees, and they were able to grow lots of plants in the soil. If it became a desert, that would be a problem. That wouldn't be how that land is supposed to be. Wangari thinks about the barren land. I can begin to replace some of the lost trees here in my own backyard, one tree at a time. She starts planting 9 seedlings. Watching the seedlings take root gives Wangari the idea to plant more. To start a farm for baby trees, a nursery. In an open space, she plants row after row of tiny trees. Next, Wangari convinces the village women that planting trees is a good thing. She gives each one a seedling. Our lives will be better when we have trees again. You'll see. We are planting the seeds of hope. The women spread out over their village, planting tiny trees in long rows, like a green belt stretching over the land. The government men laugh. Women can't do this, they say. It takes trained foresters to plant trees. The women ignore the laughter and keep planting. Wangari pays them a small amount for each seedling, still living after 3 months. Their first earnings ever. Word travels like wind rustling through leaves about the green returning to Wangari's village. Soon other women in other villages and towns and cities in Kenya are planting long rows of seedlings too. But the cutting continues. Wangari stands tall as an oak to protect the old trees still remaining. We need a park more than we need an office tower, she says. The government men disagree. Wangari blocks their way, so they hit her with clubs. They call her a troublemaker and put her in jail. And still she stands tall. Right is right, even if you're alone. This story is reminding me of other stories we know about where people break the rules and even maybe get in trouble sometimes because they know that the rules were wrong and the rules were not fair. Can you think of other examples of people in history breaking rules because the rules were not fair? There are many, many other people in history who've helped make things right by breaking rules when the rules are not fair. But Wangari is not alone. Talk of the trees spreads all over Africa, like ripples in Lake Victoria. More women hear the talk and plant even more seedlings in longer and longer rows. The seedlings take root and grow tall until there are over 30 million trees there where there were none. The umbrella of green in Kenya returns. Women walk tall, their backs straight, for now they can gather firewood closer to home. The land is no longer barren. Sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize grow in the rich red earth. And the whole world hears of Wangari's trees and her army of women who planted them. And if you were to climb to the very top of Mount Kenya, you would see the millions of trees growing below you and the green that Wangari brought back to Kenya. So that story is a true one, and there's so much more to it. When I was reading about Wangari Maathai, I learned that she studied in the United States, and she studied ecology, which meant that she studied plants and how they grow. And so when she came back home, she was really an expert. And I noticed and I learned that she did not do this alone. She had huge groups of people, and especially huge groups of women, working together to make a huge difference by working together and talking together and having ideas together and planting those trees. So I thought that was a very inspiring story about planting seeds to make some real change. If you would like to learn more about Wangari Maathai, there is a link to another book that tells you much, much more information about this important person. Well, I want to share with you a song. And this is a little song about growing a little seed. This is a song by a person named Woody Guthrie, who has written a lot of famous songs, and also by his son Arlo Guthrie. And I've changed a few of the words. I've added a few silly words of my own, and I've changed a few funny parts. While I'm singing this song, I want you to see if you can make a picture in your mind of all the different things that are happening to this little seed. You're going to hear some silly words in this song, and I hope that you might even sing along, and you might even dance along. You might hear Tookie Tookie Tookie. Can you say that? Tookie Tookie Tookie. You might hear Rooty Tooty Tooty. You might hear Looky Looky Looky. You might even hear Doodle Doodle Doodle. Will you sing and dance with me? All right, here we go. I take my little hoe, dig a hole in the ground. I take my little seed and I plant it on down. Tookie, 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 tookie tied alone. We'll all dance around and see my little seed grow. Tookie, 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 tookie tied alone. We'll all dance around while my little seed grows. The rain, it came and it washed my ground. I thought my little seed was going to drown. Well, I waded right in and I carried my seed and I planted it again on some higher ground. Rooty tooty tooty, Rooty right alone. We'll all dance around while my little seed grows. Rooty tooty tooty, Rooty righty-o. Let's all dance around while my little seed grows. The sun got hot and the ground got dry. I thought my little seed would burn up and die. I carried some water from a watering well, and I said, little seed, you can drink your fill. Well, looty, 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 light alone. We'll all dance around while my little seed grows. Looky, 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 lighty low. Let's all dance around while my little seed grows. Well, the rain, it rained, and the wind, it blew, and my little seed grew, and it grew, and it grew. It grew up a flower, and the petals opened wide, and it drank in the rain and the morning sunshine. Well, doodle, 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 lighty-o. We'll all dance around while my little seed grows. Tookie, 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 tookie tied alone. Let's all dance around while my little seed grows. I heard that singing and I saw that dancing. That was beautiful. Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back and I want you to listen to that song again, and this time draw it. You can get a pencil and a piece of paper or a marker or anything you can use to draw, and I want you to draw a picture of what is happening to that little seed in that song. Have fun drawing.